In the main series of the Pokemon anime, James is betrothed to Jezebel, but runs away. And in my fanfic series, James isn't betrothed to Jezebel and has a nice childhood. But what if he was betrothed and wasn't able to run away? So he couldn't leave to join Team Rocket or have an adventure, and was forced to stay in his parents' mansion, wasting away from boredom until his wedding day arrived. Buckle up. This is gonna be a sad one. The James we know is nowhere to be found. His childhood, spent quietly obeying his parents' plan to study and become a perfect heir, is even more bleak than in the original timeline. When not studying and preparing, all of James's spare time is spent with his bride-to-be, Jezebel. With no summers spent away in Sinnoh with Pop-Pop and Gran, James not only never spends time with Pokemon, he never goes to the Great March and catches his Carnivine. His parents also never gift him a Koffing for Christmas, but those two aren't the only Pokemon friends James doesn't have to help him through this rough, lonely childhood. Jezebel, proving she is as evil and selfish as we all believe her to be, wants James all to herself. She wants James to focus on being a good aristocratic heir, and he can't be wasting time on some wild dog. Jezebel forces James to release his best friend, Growly. "Say goodbye to that flea-bitten mutt," she tells him as Growly is forced to run away from the mansion. For a few days, James can hear Growly howling in the woods, but he's unable to leave to bring his friend home. After a week, the howling stops. James's childhood persists, with no one to love or support him, and no adventures to assert his independence. James doesn't run away despite how much he wants to, because he doesn't have the confidence. He doesn't enter Pokemon Tech, he never joins a biker gang, and he never encounters Team Rocket, Meowth, or Jessie. His life is truly empty. Once old enough to inherit his parents' wealth, James's wedding to Jezebel takes place. It's considered the event of the century, and every rich person in Kanto attends. Even Giovanni and Madame Boss, whose Team Rocket is spreading across the region, are in attendance. They're both secretly funded by aristocrats like James and Jezebel's parents, explaining their seemingly infinite resources. In front of an audience of enemies, villains, and terrible people, James watches Jezebel walk down the aisle towards him. Though he puts on a smile, afraid of what she would do if he showed his true emotions, he can't help but have some tears fall down his cheeks. To the audience, it looks like the tears of a groom seeing his bride for the first time. But to James, it's the tears of a person wishing he could have lived a different life. No one comes to rescue him. Not Jessie, not Meowth, not Growly. James is alone, surrounded by people. Years after the wedding, James's life is as you would expect. Jezebel has combined her and James's family's wealth, creating one of the largest estates in not just Kanto, but all of the world. With their increased power, they further finance Team Rocket, who have blasted off as the ultimate evil power in the world. Giovanni has taken over from Madame Boss, and Jezebel, with her huge wealth and natural evil demeanor, is Giovanni's right hand. Mewtwo's creation is better funded and completed well ahead of schedule. Long before Ash can be there, and even if he was, our lovable Team Rocket trio isn't there to help the heroes against Mewtwo anyway. There's no one to stop Team Rocket's rise to power. And there's also no one to stop Jezebel from overthrowing Giovanni as its leader. She has James's wealth, Mewtwo's power, and Team Rocket's numbers. Can you imagine a world where someone like Jezebel has all of that at her disposal? It is a dark world. Not just for James, but for everyone. James, never allowed to leave the mansion again, watches as the world is overrun and conquered by Jezebel. She renames Team Rocket to Team Jezebel. She renames James's home to Jezebel Estate. She renames Kanto to Jezebel. Pokemon are now Jezebelmons. Trainers no longer challenge gym leaders, but challenge Jezebel leaders. Trees are Jezebel. Water is Jezebel. Clouds are Jezebel. 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 Jezebel! Oh my god. I just had the scariest dream. I had a nightmare where Jezebel was everywhere. That's not real, right, Meowth? Meowth? You mean Jezebel? Oh my god. Okay, no more overeating before I sleep. I need my rest. I'm getting my last badge in Hoenn tomorrow after all. Okay. Jezebelmons aren't real. They can't hurt you. Oh god.